President, Mr. President, answer the question.
What's the question, Megan?
Is Hounds Town USA great?
Is it great? It's amazing. Not as amazing as me. Hounds Town USA is home to the happiest dogs on earth. Ask Hillary over there. She agrees with me, right, Hillary? Hillary. Bernie Sanders. Bernie, you agree? Great. Hounds Town USA is building fences all over the United States to keep your dogs happy and secure. It's amazing. Not as amazing and not as great as me, but it is the home to the happiest dogs on earth. Amazing, amazing. Wow, Jackie, that was amazing. Whoever thought Donald Trump was going to come here and endorse Hounds Town USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth?
I know, who knew? The Donald. Way to go, the Donald.
Well, I'm so excited about this. This has been long in the awaiting. Our show, Hounds Town Television. We've done Hounds Town Radio, and now we're spreading our tentacles throughout the United States. So therefore, we thought it was a great idea to start Hounds Town Television.
Yep,
In a couple of minutes, I'm going to introduce our friend visiting here.
Who wants to take a nap already?
Who wants to take a nap. So I'm your host, Mike Gould. This is my lovely co-host, Jackie Bondanza. We are people used to tell me, I got a great face for a radio. I don't know how this is going to go over on television, but we're excited to launch this new program. And Jackie's going to describe a little bit about what Hounds Town is, how we do it. Hounds Town is home to the happiest dogs on earth. We're a fully interactive pet care facility that does daycare, obviously, in a real pack environment. And as we do this show, the theme is always going to be dogs, and we're going to talk about what makes Hounds Town USA different than all our competitors throughout the country. And we're going to go through that in detail. Our inaugural show, because it is the holiday season, ho, 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 we're going to talk about Hounds Town Charities and what Hounds Town Charities does for the communities that we're located, where all our facilities are located. So Jackie, pick up from that point of view. Talk about Hounds Town USA, Hounds Town Charities, and what we've been doing so far with our charities.
Well, we should tell everybody that Hounds Town USA is, of course, home to the happiest dogs on earth. We also board cats. We've also boarded guinea pigs and I think snakes at one point.
Wow.
But so far our slogan has, stayed just about dogs. So we have 5 great locations across Long Island in Ronkonkoma, Port Jefferson, Farmingdale, Island Park, and Deer Park. And we're going to be opening up at least two more in 2018. We know Hounds Town Hicksville is hopefully opening up in spring of 2018.
Great.
And Mineola, we just signed new franchisees to open Hounds Town Mineola in the Mineola area.
Absolutely. Even more exciting news that I've been waiting for 15 years now. I want to say, of course, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah to all of our friends out there. But we are now, in 2018, we're going to be opening in Nashville, Tennessee.
I know, so exciting.
Yeehaw! Yeehaw! Let's give a shout out to Shelly and Kenny down there in Nashville. They're going to be the new franchisees, and I'm pretty confident that once they operate their first facility, they're going to be taking over the Southeast. These are tremendous people. And they have great business acumen, and we're really excited about Nashville. And by the way, and I'll segue with Jackie into the charity, when we visit a location or when we establish a location, we also do a lot of charitable work with the local shelters. And that's when in a little bit, Jackie's going to talk about Canito. But more importantly, in Nashville, we've already been down to Nashville visiting. We deal with the Rutherford, what is it called? The Rutherford County Animal
Paws of Rutherford County.
Paws of Rutherford County in Tennessee. Nashville. So we're excited about that. So excited about it. So let's talk about Canito and Hounds Town Charities for this premier holiday show that we're doing. Go ahead, take it away.
We'll tell everybody first to find out more about Hounds Town. We do a lot of different things, not only interactive daycare, boarding, And all of our facilities have a full-service grooming salon. We also do pet taxi, and our charity is a big part of our Hounds Town brand. We also offer franchises. So to find out anything more about Hounds Town, about anything we do, visit our website at houndstownusa.com, and you'll be able to navigate through our many different websites to find out any information really you need. Anything you need to know about a dog, we can pretty much answer.
Right. And just one note, just to go back and forth a little bit. So what we do that is so special, and what we do for shelters, in fact, I'm right now working with the Smithtown Animal Shelter here on Long Island to help them get some traction and change the way things have been working in municipal shelters and private shelters. So for the last week, in fact, I've been working very, very closely with the folks at the Smithtown Animal Shelter who are trying to reinvigorate their shelter or reestablish a really good program. One of the things we specialize in, we don't breed discriminate. In fact, I'm offended by pet care facilities. You imagine if you had a child Irish and you go to school and the school said we don't take Irish children, you would be beside yourself. So our pet owners who have what they call bully breeds, shepherds, believe it or not, Rin Tin Tin is a bully breed. Pit bulls, Dobermans, Rottweilers, all of these breeds or mutations of that breed are not allowed to go to our competitors' facilities. So with that said, and I don't bash my competitors, but how silly is it that they breed discriminate against dogs? So you'll see in our facilities, you'll see over the course of this program, you'll see dogs interacting with one another because that's what dogs do. They're pack animals. So we have a soft science of be able to do this, and that's what we're going to try to bring throughout the country, is interactive daycare. Dogs are pack animals that are required by Mother Nature, not my idea, Mother Nature's. Fish swim, birds fly, and dogs interact in a pack environment. And the only thing that screws up that process is human beings. So at the root of all dog problems, and I can say this with 100% certainty, at the root of all dog problems is humans. We've domesticated them for various reasons, some good, some selfish. We've taken them away from their natural pack. We brought them into our home. There's vacuum cleaners, crazy things, drama. Most people live dramatic lives. Dogs like Canito right here does not live in a dramatic environment. So we know how to do this very well. Since our inception, we've cared for over 600,000 dogs. Can you imagine? Like McDonald's, they've served billions of... 600,000 dogs.
It's a lot of dogs.
That's a lot of dogs. So tell me, speaking of the charity, we have been working in Puerto Rico, right? We've been going down there for the last 2 or 3 years. We've been going to Puerto Rico because they have a dog problem down there.
Right. Well, the Hounds Town Charities is the philanthropic entity of Hounds Town USA. Mm-hmm. You started it in 2011 with a couple of other people to really give back to the community, and it is an important element in it for all of our Hounds Town USA locations. So each location partners up with a rescue or their local municipal shelter to offer discounted boarding and doggy daycare rates. The socialization helps, I think, tremendously for dogs that are cooped up in a shelter. It provides them the opportunity to kind of like get out and get to know other dogs and interact with people. I think it helps make them more adoptable.
Completely.
So that's kind of the drive behind it. So Canito was part of, I guess, another program we've had through the charity.
Visiting other shelters throughout the country.
Right. So we went down to this amazing rescue in Puerto Rico called El Faro de los Animales, and they are overrun with dogs in Puerto Rico for some reason. The spay and neuter is not very big down there, so the shelter works very hard to promote, the benefits of spaying and neutering. We were doing a seminar, and I was walking down the kennel, floor, and this guy reached his little paw out to me, and that was kind of the end of it.
Love at first sight. Love at first sight.
It was love at first sight.
Right.
So I had to take him home. So he's now become kind of like our
part of our family.
Spokesperson.
He has lox and bagels every morning, and he sleeps in bed. All the things that I, as an animal behaviorist, preach about, he violates.
He's the anti.
He's the anti. antithesis of what we should be doing. However, he's adapted very well. So he jumps on the bed when we ask him to, and he goes to his bed when we tell him to. So that's where, as we talk in these programs, when we talk about animal behavior, there's a big distinction about to that. But the other point I want to make is, because people would say, well, there's enough dog problems on Long Island, why are we going to Puerto Rico? We are an equal opportunity. We provide assistance to equal opportunity. In other words, I don't get into the politics of it. The rescue world, and we'll talk about this regularly, is kind of toxic, right? Because because of human beings make it toxic. So we stay out of the politics. We don't discriminate. If we can provide assistance in Puerto Rico, and by the way, it's a nice place to visit. So,
right.
But we've been to Alaska. We've been all over the country, all over the world. And when we do this, people welcome us to teach seminars on how to manage dogs, because that's what we're really good at. All right, Canito looks like he wants his.
Leave.
But
He's done with this show.
Here,
hang on one second.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Canito had enough of us, and that was all he could tolerate. So Canito is a Puerto Rican dog who's really kind of amazing, and they have a very bad situation. For example, in Puerto Rico, and this is what drew us there. I like to see things, right? I don't like to read and hear about things. So there was something called Dead Dog Beach, and it's sad, and we don't like to talk about but things are changing in Puerto Rico. Then, of course, they had the hurricane. But so, there's this thing called Dead Dog Beach where there was no, as Jackie said, no spay or neutering. So dogs were just puppy litter after litter after litter, and people didn't want them. They threw them on the beach down there, and of course, it's a horrendous situation. So we said, I don't know if it's true or not true. Let's go down to Puerto Rico. And that's how we operate visually. I learn from seeing things. Mm-hmm. And we've been going back and forth there a couple of times a year.
Right.
And
so that's just one of the things
what
that
else do we do
Hounds
that's
Town
so damn
Charities
wonderful?
Does. One of the other things we just launched this past fall, which I think made a tremendous impact, at least on our local community, was a program that we call Handcuffs to Healing.
Handcuffs to healing, like healing.
Like walking your dog on your left side.
Wow, that's an incredible. Who thought of that?
Oh, I don't know. I think you did.
Oh, okay. So handcuffs to healing. The dog heals,
right? And
then the inmates or the people involved are healed spiritually.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Play on
it's
words.
Incredible. Play on words. All right. Very
so anyway,
ingenious.
we took 6 dogs from our local municipal shelter, the Town of Brookhaven Animal Shelter. And you work along with our other assistant trainer Ashley to really choose the dogs that would be appropriate for this program, that were there kind of long term, that maybe had some minor behavioral problems, that could really use the opportunity to get out, to socialize, to learn some training, to make them more adoptable. So we partnered up with the Yaphank Correctional Facility.
With Suffolk County Sheriff's Department, who are really open-minded. Suffolk County Sheriff's Department, they're on the cutting edge, progressive thinking, not stuck in the bureaucracy of no, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. Suffolk County Sheriff, good. Brookhaven Animal Shelter, good. We won't say whatever. Okay, I'll leave the bad out. Positive for, so yeah. So
it was a 6-week program where we took these 6 dogs and we paired them up with 6 inmates from the Yaphank Correctional Facility. All of them were very low risk inmates. They were actually really great guys, and it was I found it amazing to spend the 6-8 hours a week.
Right, we look forward to it.
That we did spend with them, because I think when we first started the program, I think the inmates were very skeptical. They kind of didn't want to be there. Mm-hmm. The dogs were a little afraid, but by the end of the first night, it was, I think, already transformational for both. The inmates started to smile and laugh, and they loosened up. So it was really mutually beneficial for both the dogs.
For me and us, for me personally, it was a spiritual journey. It wasn't about training dogs, training it. First of all, I don't even like the term inmates. They're human beings, and we have dogs. Dogs and human beings. We didn't judge them. I couldn't care less what they did, how they got there. They're there. And I could be there. Jackie could be there by just little mistakes in life. So these were incredible people, the inmates there. And so it was a spiritual journey for us. And the dogs is obviously a very important analogy, right? The dogs end up in the shelter for, not that they're bad dogs. There's no bad dogs at the shelter. They're misunderstood dogs. And humans kind of screwed them up. And I would argue that the inmates are the same. And again, I call them participants. We like to label things in our world, human world. These were great human beings that ended up where they did for various different reasons. And so this program was great, but this was one of many, many programs, as well as I said, everything. You okay? Jackie's you're right there? That's okay. So yeah, Handcuffs to Healing was really kind of an amazing thing. It was our first program, so we're doing a lot of innovative things. What else do you have to say for yourself there, Miss Bondanza, if you can talk?
Sorry.
That's quite all right.
It's getting cold or something. Maybe you should continue.
Okay, Jackie is. I got to read my notes now. Jackie is having an episode.
Read your script. Stick to the story.
All right. So here's the point. So any of these things we talk about, if you go to HoundsTownUSA.com and look at the videos, we on our Facebook page, HoundsTownUSA.com Facebook, Hounds Town USA. We have thousands of videos, hundreds of videos. So get a bottle of wine. If you have a problem going to sleep, this is a great time to watch this program. Sit down, watch, see how we interact with the dogs. We have a great holiday video we just did, right? How do people see that holiday video? I think it's really kind of fun.
They can go to our website on HoundsTownUSA.com and click on the news section, and they'll see it in the news section. Right.
So at the source of all of this craziness that we do, and it is crazy, and we are over the top. We have fun with dogs. We're not crying. You know, sometimes I go to the municipal shelter, or shelters in general, run by really nice people, well-intentioned, but it's like so toxic. Everybody's crying and they're sad, and it shouldn't be that way. So we at Hounds Town Charities bring fun and energy into an otherwise depressing place. You know, it's kind of analogous to a children's hospital, right? You can't walk around with your shoulders hunched down and crying. You got to be positive and upbeat, and that's what we do to all the places we get involved with, whether it's public shelters, municipal shelters. So watch for that. And if anybody out there wants to help us, there's always a place in our charity. You might not be training dogs, you might be helping up us administratively, but I think there's always volunteers are welcome.
Of course, yeah. And you know, as we grow larger, and hopefully we'll be doing the Handcuffs to Healing program again in the spring.
Right.
We'll always need. We always need help, and we always need people to handle the dogs and to make donations, of course.
Donations are huge, and I hate to be the pitch man. I hate asking for money. I really do. So Hounds Town Charity is funded 99% by me. Because I'm not really comfortable asking for money from people. It's just awkward to me. So, but you need money to move forward. So the Hounds Town for Healing cost me about $15,000 out of my pocket to implement it. And no complaints there whatsoever, but obviously I have limited resources. Everybody does. So that's I'm putting that out there. Just because money always is helpful, and it's a wonderful charity. 100% will go. It's not. We don't have. It goes to helping dogs. Everything that we do or I do is always has the best interest of dogs, even if it's not popular. I go to shelters, and I kind of give my opinion, and sometimes my opinion is very pointed, and sometimes I criticize the volunteers. Sometimes I criticize the shelter directors. That's what I do. I don't pull punches, and I tell them what's good and what's bad about what they do. Something else we were going to do is have like different segments. What was that about? Aren't we going to have like a dog of the week or something? What are you laughing about?
Yeah. So each week on the show, this is going to be a bi-monthly video
bipolar video podcast.
That too.
Okay,
Everything. So each show we're going to feature a dog of the week, and the incentive to that is to feature a dog either from our own charity, because we do have 3 dogs within our own charity that have been with us long term. We'll feature one of them, or we'll feature a dog from a local municipal shelter or a rescue.
Right.
And obviously the incentive is to help get the dog some exposure, help get them adopted, get them on TV.
Right.
We do have 2 dogs that are, we have 3 dogs that are with us, but we'll feature 2 of them this week, Spike and Diamond.
Right.
They have been with us for 5 years. They live at our Hounds Town Ronkonkoma location. They're very well taken care of and loved, but sometimes I think when we take dogs in, people kind of assume that they're safe and that they forget about them and they move on to the next thing, but these 2 dogs still need a loving home. They're a little bit older, which, you know, can be great for people who
Right.
don't necessarily want a younger dog or to handle a puppy. So you can go to our charity website, houndstowncharities.org, and there are videos and photos of both of the dogs
Right.
on there. So
Right.
those are
and
our
they
two.
do. Although they live a good life at Hounds Town, I've learned a mistake of adopting dogs because, as Jackie said, when we adopt a dog, meaning we take full responsibility of it, people just forget about them. So that's just the nature of human beings. It's not bad because there's literally millions or thousands of dogs that need help. So obviously, when we adopt a dog into our program, they're not prioritized anymore. So what happens is they end up. So the dogs we have, they're living in our facility for the last 3 years, and that's not. It's, as Jackie said, it's great. My staff loves them. They get out, they interact, they wonder, but it doesn't replace the loving environment of a home. And we of course wish they got.
Plus,
homes.
also, you know, we need the spots in order to be able to help other dogs. So we
Right.
get approached all the time from local shelters asking us if we can help take you know, a dog that's been at their shelter for a long time.
And we got to turn them down.
We do that as part of our charity, but we unfortunately we can't board them because our place is full. So
Right.
the 3 dogs that we've had for a very long time, if we could get help kind of getting them out and finding
Yeah.
them a home, it would be
Right.
beneficial to not only them but to
Of course,
the rest of
right,
the dogs
right.
that are in need.
All
So-
right, very good. So houndstowncharities.org, but people could go to houndstownusa.com and
Yes.
everything's there. More than you've ever wanted to know about fully interactive daycare, boarding, grooming. We do things differently. My training is different. I can just say that without going into the details. It's different. It's just understanding the animal brain, the mammalian brain, taking off our human brain, and communicating with the dog brain, because they're completely different. Dogs live 15 inches off the ground, and we live 5 feet off the ground. So just that in and of itself is confusion. Canito's running around here, the studio here, trying to figure out what is everything, because his animal brain doesn't know what cameras are, doesn't know anything. So it's important as humans. So we spend our lives, 7 days a week we do this, by the way. This is not something that we do. Our life, for better or worse, involves dogs. 365 days a year, we are in some way caring for live animals, or out of the country helping other people care for live animals. And that's
Yeah.
what we enjoy doing. Certainly not a complaint. So some people like to go to museums when they visit another city. Jackie and I like to go to shelters, dog shelters. And we're not sad. We're positive and happy. We don't cry, we help. And that's an important point.
Right.
All right,
Yes,
what
absolutely.
else? How long is this show? I don't even know.
How long have you been gabbing for? We don't.
Yeah,
even
well,
know.
I have my 3rd cup of coffee.
Right, yeah,
Houndstown
that's a
mug.
problem.
Yeah. And then, so this next week, we're going to talk about franchise. Next episode, not next week, we're going
Yes.
to talk about franchising.
Yep.
We're going to
So
talk
our
about
next show will focus on franchising and what opening a Hounds Town franchise looks like.
Right.
And I believe we actually have a clip from our franchisees, Lauren and Jimmy. They own Hounds Town Island Park. They just recently opened in September. I think we have a clip of them.
Any pet lovers look into opening up a Hounds Town. It's a great franchise. It's a safe environment for pets to play, and it's a great service to the community.
It's been rewarding and motivating. We've continuously seen our revenue and our volume grow. We've also enjoyed our time working with our staff and our customers, as well as spending time with dogs all day. Who doesn't love that?
And hopefully down the road, we're just kind of feeling our way through this, right? But down the road, we're going to be visiting the locations. We're going to be out and about. We're going to be interviewing people, franchisees, dog shelter. We're going to get out there. This is going to, hey, folks, this is going to be interesting, all right? This is going to be fun and interesting. And we will put a perspective on things. It's not going to be the run-of-the-mill dog show that people, fall asleep on. We're going to bring to you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And more importantly, I'm going to highlight, for better or worse, how humans, it may be you, screw up the brain of the dog. We confuse them through inconsistency, through anthropomorphic behavior. Word of the week. Can we have a word of the week?
Sir.
Anthropomorphism. Look it up in the dictionary. And you're guilty of it, I'm guilty of it, and Jackie's guilty of it. But the more you can work through the anthropomorphism and see the world from an animal's perspective. And on Long Island, we don't see nature anymore. So I'm just fascinated driving down Sunrise Highway and look at a flock of birds. And I find it amazing how they interact and how their morphic kind of energy. It's amazing to me. And because we live in this kind of suburban urban bubble, it's hard for me to even see a squirrel. So
you must not have your glasses on because I see them all over the place.
Well, I can't see. What's my point?
I don't know.
Jackie's
let me try and take your point home here.
Please, she's good at this.
The next word of the week is going to be over-caffeinated. But
all right.
I think that the point is that at Hounds Town, we allow dogs to be dogs by providing them with the most natural environment possible. Meaning, and this may sound counterintuitive, and it does to a lot of our customers.
It's a good word for next week, counterintuitive. But go ahead.
Meaning that we don't, it's minimal human interaction. We supervise the dogs, but it's amazing to see when you just allow them to play in a play group in their natural environment with no, toys or bones or couches or humans.
Right.
They are allowed to be their true selves.
Jackie could never be more on point. And let's just talk about Nashville. They read bedtime stories to dogs, and they charge you money.
Who are you talking about?
Well, our friends in Nashville came up and they said how they board their dogs at a facility.
Of other places
they charge for bedtime stories, absurd. Belly rubs, absurd. So we allow dogs, as Jackie said, hump, dump, and jump. All three things, hump, dump, and jump. We don't yell, they poop on the floor. Okay, that's what dogs do. They hump, we don't care as long as they've been, there's obviously all our dogs seriously are spayed or neutered. It's not a dating service we have there. Although it looks like it sometimes, even when they are spayed or neutered, there's a lot of shenanigans going on. We have private room, 4-hour stay, and in their 1-hour stay. But my point is, Jackie hit it. Dogs are dogs. Birds fly, fish swim, dogs play and interact. Dogs are immature wolves eternally. So if you have a 10-year-old dog, immature wolf. So we understand this and we allow it. Is there the possibility of scratches, cuts, little dog fights? Of course there is. If my kid plays football, there's a possibility. Jiu-jitsu is a better one, right? You watch this MMA stuff, people are beating the crap out of each other. At the end, they shake hands, there's some blood, but very rarely are there serious injuries. Not to say that that's what happens at doggy daycare, but it's to try to make people think what dogs do. They interact very roughly, they play bite, they have what we call a bite inhibition. We'll talk about that down the road. And they play, and so of course there might be a little nip here, a scratch here. They smell. If we have 50 dogs and it's raining out, there's no secret to this. The only way for dogs not to smell is if we isolate them and put them away, and then of course they won't smell. But you won't be getting the service. People want their dogs to play from 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night, and when they go home, mom and dad has a martini and the dog goes to sleep, and that's what people are paying for. The peripheral benefits of doggy daycare, interactive play. It's therapeutic psychologically and physically. If they have arthritis sometimes goes away or gets diminished. And they're socialized properly. All right, did I talk enough?
I think so, yeah. Let's wrap this up.
All right, let's wrap it up. I thought I was going to see okay, so where's the directors? Are we good here? Well, we should wrap it up.
Directors are sleeping.
I put them to sleep.
Shocker, this is only the first show, guys.
If any benefit comes from this, I have the amazing ability to put people to sleep by the sound of my voice. So turn it on just around bedtime. Good night, everyone. Good afternoon. Go to sleep.
All right, we'll see everybody next week. Don't forget to check us out at houndstownusa.com.
Right. Bye, everyone.